Hey everyone, this is Oldbackpac from the Gankbush squad, and today we're going to be talking about how to tank. And today's hero is Dehaka. So Dehaka is one of the most unusual tanks in that when you play Dehaka, your whole goal is to almost never fight. Like, he is a split pusher more than he is a tank. Yes, he is a tank that absorbs a lot of damage, that's his best asset, but his whole goal is to never actually want to fight. He always has the threat of fighting and making say a 2v2 into a 3v2, but for the most part, you want to be split soaking and split pushing for a majority of your time. That being said, he still is a very good tank in that he absorbs an immense amount of damage. His trait gives him a full health bar, his adaptation gives him a full health bar, so he really has 3 health bars as a tank. So his whole goal is to absorb obscene amounts of damage. If you're doing that, you're doing pretty well. You're also trying to you take so much damage because you position very aggressively in the enemy's backline. Dehaka is a terrible solo tank for the reason that he has very little peel. He has 1 ton that has a delay to its cast, and that's his only way of providing peel or CC to the team. He really needs a better main tank. He's a off tank, not a main tank. You see the enemy team and the ally team, Dehaka is playing solo tank in this role, so it's very, very suboptimal for him. He's going to have to play a full tank build. So from there, let's talk about the team comps and what Dehaka's goal is in this team comp. In an ordinary team comp where there's 2 tanks, his goal is to split soak, and when team fights do erupt, to enter the enemy's back line and become very, very annoying, and to force them to actually target him, and then he can then use all of his abilities like the passive and the adaptation. But for this, he needs to play in super tank build, because he's going to take all the damage for his back line that's very, very squishy. And that's because the enemy team has a lot of dive. They have a Sonya, they have a Murden, they have a Vol who can vault, a Mafir who can root, and Zul'Jin who does an immense amount of single target damage, making Dehaka's life extremely difficult. And so you can see the level 1 talent for Dehaka. He has 2 very good talents at level 1 and 1 bad one. and kind of as a Silver League thing, he picks the only wrong choice, which is Dart Swarm, which gives him spell armor. And the enemy team is mostly not spell damage because they have a Zul'Jin who is purely auto attack based, and a Vala who is about a half auto attack, half ability power. So from there, let's get started. As the fight starts, Dehaka is going to want to be the solo. He is almost always a solo in almost every game he plays because he has such good sustain. He heals himself, and even if he does get low, he can always just go back. He can just B back, Hearth back, and then Z back to the fight. It's almost impossible to lose lane with Dehaka. You cannot dominate a lane, but you have a hard time losing the lane. And this is kind of the Black Hearts thing where everyone fights for the site in the first minute where it doesn't matter. Especially with this team. No heroes here have stacking traits. Oh crap, he broed in. It's the isolation. Not too bad. It's just back out. This is a particularly bad fight for them just because their healer is Brightwing. He's a very, very slow sustain healer, and they really can't stop any sort of burst damage. As the team fight erupts, Dehaka's job should be to peel for his backline and not really try to be engaging too much. The enemy team will engage for you. You don't need to chase them down. Fortunately, the assassins there get a good kill. And here you see Dehaka get kind of lucky, in that, as you can see, he is the solo tank and he's taking a lot of damage. And Brightwing, being a slow healer, can't heal him up very effectively. He really needs to leave this. He needs to leave this immediately. You should be smart and B out, then Z bottom. That is your goal. Your goal is to split south bottom. You can outlane Sonya, who will be their bottom laner. Or tapping well. Tapping well is fine too. He's going bottom for the chest, which is good. You see the enemy team still shows 2 top and 1 mid. This should be a rather easy cap for the bottom chest. Very good. Clear the lane out. So right here you see Dehaka trying to go in for a ton. It's actually his worst way to initiate a fight because it's so predictable, and there's also a cast delay to it. It's really not worth your time to try to get a godly ton off. It's probably not going to happen. Okay, so there's another missed ton, and this is now just time to back up. This is not a great opportunity to be out, because there's nothing to be gained here at 10% life. Okay, well done. Yeah. Jaina's down there. She has some of the best wave clear in the game, so just let Jaina cast her Blizzard and back out. And up top, we have Falstad doing the pseudo solo in the top mid lane, which is okay. Falstad also has very good wave clear. Well, at 7 he's wave clear, but he's still very good at the solo. So right here, this Dehaka has no reason to take this much damage from the Zul'Jin, and he will probably pay for it. Don't you love it when your prediction comes true? Okay, so Dehaka kind of decided to suicide for no reason versus a Zul'Jin. There's no reason why a Dehaka should ever fight Zul'Jin. You're not going to catch him unless they make mistakes. With Jaina leaving bottom, that is Dehaka's cue to go back to solo, and the 4-man can go and continue rotating. Well done. So like I said, Dehaka's real goal is not to engage fights, and you just want to split soak. With that being said, you need to see if you can split soak safely, and that requires looking at the mini map a lot. So from right now, you can see they're showing Sonya top, and that's it. So you cannot push past the center line of the map unless you risk being ganked. Granted, the Sonya will be creeping the entire map. You won't never see her, but you just need to be soaking safely. Even though Dehaka wants to wander middle for reasons that I don't understand. So right there, that's sort of a face tanking where he just walks into the opponent is, well, it's very predictable. So the enemy team can kind of just dodge a ton. It's not helping you very much. Oh, one thing to mention about Dehaka and a little bit of ton micro is that you can actually auto people during the drag. So right there, as you saw him, he tunned. You can attack once, move back, attack again, move back. You can actually get 2 auto attacks in per drag. All the pros do it, and it's the best way to maximize your damage. Because Dehaka hits not hard, but it's more damage. It's just a way to min-match your Dehaka micro. Like, when you can get more damage, get more damage. Yes, you will pull him a few pixels less far away from where he was, but for the most part, you want to maximize damage.
Here be some fine booty.
Right here, Dehaka should be able to get the coin chest very easily. Just press W once, and each tick will knock down the bots. He is similar to Tracer in that he knocks down the bots' health really quickly. We can see here at level 4, Dehaka learned once again a less useful talent, and it's the Hero Stalker ability. Ooh, nice chain stun right there. That's something you don't see very often in lower levels. But at level 7, he learned the Hero Stalker ability, which is kind of went into obscurity ever since the talent got nerfed. And that's for a good reason. The ability doesn't heal for as much. So level 4, the default talent is almost always 1 hook toulettes. And at 7, he does go feeding. He does go feeding frenzy, which gives you a 2-second reduction on your tongue. A 2-second reduction for every auto attack. Nice tongue. There's an opportunity to pull him back, but unfortunately he missed it. But he did get the autos in. And you'll see right here in these fights, Dehaka is doing a lot of team fighting. He really doesn't have to. He wants to be split soaking. Because his assassins can do plenty well without him being there. However, he's still decided to fight. We may get them actually killed. Yeah. Right there, they're getting killed just because, well, one, the enemy team is 10, and the other is that Dehaka doesn't provide enough peel to really protect those assassins. That's why I try to encourage Dehaka to split soak. Him being there to help team fight with the allied team isn't helping because it gives a false sense of security. If Sonya wanted to leap on the Brightwing, Dehaka can't stop it. It's going to happen. You're just going to be able to hit him with your W while it's occurring. Here we see a very, very aggressive invade, which they can do easily just because they have 10s first. And well played by the blue blue team. This is a case where Dehaka is chasing Sonya, which is a terrible idea. If Sonya just wanted to turn and fight Dehaka, she would win. She'd win at a laughably easy amount because she has 10, and Dehaka's damage is poor. She'll just whirlwind through it. Yeah, that's one thing I like to stress amongst people who are learning. You need to know who you can and can't solo. Sure, if you're a butcher, you beat everyone in solo, but for the most part, you can't do that. Now they have 10. Dehaka being a solo tank almost has to pick adaptation here. It's his one way to survive team fights. And he goes for isolation, which is good for this one kill right now because he's able to slow and kill Malfurion, but he's gonna regret not having adaptation in later team fights where his life pool will drain very quickly to Zul'Jin and Vala. Okay. But that being said, Dehaka now is zoning, very good. You want to do this, your team's turning in. Goes out a little bit too far, considering that there's no way for him to escape, but he's still accomplishing the zoning. I'm okay with the idea. Right now you see that Dehaka is once again unable to peel for Brightwing, so he's most likely going to die here as Zul'Jin and Murden gang up on him. Good ton on the Zul'Jin to minimize damage. As I said, that's the only form of peel, and it was well used. With Brightwing out, there's an opportunity to back up. Unfortunately, the False Tide flew in, trying to support the over-aggression from Dehaka, and he paid for it. That's just trying too hard to stop a turn in. So, now that you're behind, your goal should be to grab camps. As you can see, the map has no camps available, so, well, then it's goal to clear lanes. During that turn-in fiasco, we actually lost top keep. That's because the waves were pushed in. They lost a lot of team fights up top. But yeah, the goal here should be try to regain map control and push out lanes. They have a Jazla who's a great split pusher, even though he's really bad on this map, but he's still good at that. And this fight should not be taken. They're a talent tier down, and they don't have numbers yet. So as the tank, your goal is not to control when the team engages. If you want to fight, when you don't want to fight. So right here, you don't want to force a fight. Unless you get a very lucky ton like that. He's actually able to get a face ton. Face meaning he just walked up to someone and tunned them. That almost never works on the higher levels because people will expect it and they'll dodge it. But hey, lightning strikes, or the other saying is, a broken clock is right twice a day. So right now the allied team is turning in. As the tank, your job is to give sight and zone for them, which you need to be on the left side of the map. Nice, he uses a straight. Now you see how much damage he's able to absorb, but they let it go. It is a 3v3, but they only have a Brightwing and a Jaina there, versus the Dehaka versus the Murden and Zul'Jin. Oh, the chat. So I want to also kind of avoid this of where you just yell at your teammates. It doesn't provide anything. Really, be positive. People usually thank you for it. Okay, Dehaka here wants to die in a 3v1 for a ton with no damage. So right there shows the point of when to engage. If you're a tank and there's no damage behind you, don't engage. There's no reason for it. There's literally no reason for it, because you can't kill the person. You can he tunned Zul'Jin. Zul'Jin went for a ride and killed him. That's all that accomplished. So right here they're gonna lose bottom, probably lose bottom keep. Though they might get a kill off of the Zul'Jin. That's not a terrible gust, because their damage dealer is gone. They can probably focus the Malfurion down, maybe get a kill off if False Dead's on him. Nice. You can even clean up now on the Vala too. Yeah, here comes the Dehaka. It should work. Nice. Good. right there. So this is a case of the ally team making a mistake of where Sonya leapt in with no damage behind him, thus he died. This is the time to disengage. You see that your team is dying. Back out. Oh, saved by the ring. Well done, Jaina. Nice. You got the coins and walked out. So in that team fight, Dehaka was somewhat effective, but his real... Oh my god, he's going back in. With the Murden being this far out of mana, might be able to... Nope, he went to his own death. Yeah. Good dodge on the steel shot. Ton is up. Nope.
You're dead, matey. Welcome to the crew.
So right there is a case of where the tank went to engage a team fight with no damage behind him. Like, Dehaka doesn't kill the tanks. And that caused him to, well, die there. That's a case of overextending. You'll notice that the base is pushed out, all the lanes are pushed out, all the keeps are gone. This game is looking pretty bad. One would argue that the game was kind of lost in the draft by doing a solo Dehaka versus a double tank team comp, but you can still play the game properly. Even with your team comp being bad, you still should be able to fulfill your role accurately. In this case, choosing the fights where you can actually have numbers advantage. And being Dehaka, your goal is always to tilt the fight in numbers advantage on your side. Plus, when you see skirmishes like 2v2s, then you burrow in. That being said, since it's kind of a down part where Dehaka is once again fighting a 2v1 for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, that was the other case of picking a bad fight. Looks like the teams can actually clean up for him, though. I'm sure Dehaka's saying right now, they blew their cooldowns on me, that's why we won. Okay, with the map, with the map coming more into control of the red team, they can then probably get a turn in right now. They have Bruiser's top, they have Gazzle clearing bottom. This should be an opportunity to get a turn in. Dehaka should be able to burrow back in and provide the zoning they need. Nice. And now he's in. Straight to the back line, Dehaka. You want to aim for the squishies, the Zul'Jin and the Malfurions. That brings up a good topic in who to focus. So as you can see, you want to focus a target that is squishy, someone that you can actually kill. Like, not Zul'Jin, because Zul'Jin has Tazdingo, but you can focus on a Malfurion or a Vala. Those are really your two primary ton targets. Tunning a Muradin like he did there really provides almost no benefit to the team. Okay, that's gonna get a kill thanks to the Jaina ring, or arguably the bait. Nice. Dehaka has sacrificed himself in a 4 for 1. Ah. So, Dehaka actually has some good advice there. Clear lanes and turn in. That's well said.
Let's get to the fun part.
Yep. Having a false light on your team actually provides you that sort of wave clear. Very nice. So let's talk about the talents. For Dehaka, his talent 16 went for the armor reduction, which is actually very nice. Their team is very much a burst comp, and so giving the enemy 10% vulnerability will actually add up. And at 16, he goes for the increased ton range, also not bad. The way he's been playing has been walking up and face tunning people, that it actually fits his playstyle.
I think they've had enough.
But if you really wanted to play Dehaka better, actually with his new talent change, I would highly recommend going level 1, enhanced agility, where this way you move faster whenever you come out of bushes. It's very noticeable and extremely powerful. And after that, you can actually go with abilities that that give you more tongue cooldown. So the build usually goes with the enhanced agility, followed by once again he collects. And then 7 is still the feeding frenzy, so you get CDR on your tongue. With the enhanced move speed and the cooldown reduction on tongue, you can literally just follow a target similar to Illidan and just follow him, ton him, follow him, ton him, and really be a pretty devastating tank. You stick to the target very, very well. And then at 13 and 16, once again, you still get the vulnerability on the swarm, and at 16 you usually go with the tunneling claws, just for more mobility, because you will have the enhanced mobility while burrowed. As they're clearing lanes, very good Ringer Frost for Janet, may even win in the team fight. Nice, very good. So that's the one way you want. Dehaka uses one peel at the right time where Tazdingo has his maximum damage. This should be a massive comeback. However, if the enemy team turns in, it will be GG. So this is Dehaka's cue to Z into the brush at the turn in. If they get it, it's game over. Also, at level 20, he learned the right ability, where he burrows much faster with a lower cooldown. That's basically mandatory on this map, especially when the waves are being pushed in so hard. As the team turns in, Dehaka zones. Exactly what you want to see. So he should just back up now. The turn has been completed. Just stop. So now the enemy team is rallying around the turn-in point. And so Dehaka, holding 2 coins, being the solo tank, needs to turn in. Yes, he wants to zone, but he needs to turn in as well. But he chooses zoning. Not a bad thing to do. It's alright. You'll notice that Falstaff's not there yet, but he can fly in whenever he wants. Okay, so right now, since Falstaff's not here, this is the wrong time to be engaging with a face ton like that. He's probably going to have this fight start off on the wrong foot from the very beginning. And there it is, Brightwing dies trying to back up the Dehaka play. They're forcing a bad engage. Yeah, so now that they're actually traded to 1-to-1. Once again, tons on Murden, not helpful. Ooh, a very good gust from the false that comes out and stops the Tazdingo. I'm sorry, stops the troll from killing them all. With your healer down, the enemy healer up, you can back up for a little bit, just because the turn-in's not available yet. But Dehaka staying here for the turn is not a terrible idea, because the enemy team turns in and they lose the game. So he really is defending this turn-in for the game. Granted, he's fighting for Sonya, which is a fight that he can't win, so his only goal is to really annoy her and stop her from bringing the coins in, but that's about it. Oh, he's getting lucky. He actually lures Sonya in. The ton into the bomb, that's nice. Come on, Jaina, use abilities. Brightwing warps back in. Here comes the Dingo death. Nice. Now it's a 5v1, should be an easy kill. Good. Going really well. So Dehaka, your goal now is as you've won everything, turn in the coins, followed by getting camps. Yeah, Dehaka is actually quite good at getting camps, especially on this map, where his W clears pretty well. Also with the recent patch changes, he's able to deal good amount of damage to the creeps. With that's free turn in, out even steal the enemy team's camps. That brings us to the point of which camps to take and when. So as you can see, the allied team took their camps first, which is the wrong play to make. And you see you have an advantage, say, you know, a 4-man advantage or 5-man advantage. Your goal should be to take the enemy camps first, so this way you cap it before they can challenge it, and then take your side's camps. Just a way of getting the enemy's resources, call it safe. Okay, Dehaka bees back for mana. Not entirely wrong. With the turn in now capped, it allows the allied team to, well, leave the turn in point. Once the enemy team has enough coins, turn in is their path to victory. And Dehaka is denying them coins, but it should be really dangerous because you have no idea where the enemy team is. Granted, he has sight there, so you can do this somewhat safely, but if someone comes up mounted, Dehaka will die.
That's enough! We don't be working for free!
A tide. The enemy is driftwood.
Okay, he's stopping to talk. Alright, enemy team is going bottom, it's time to be out. Good call on Dehaka there. You see they're pushing 5 mana for core. It's reasonably easy. They only have 5% shield at level 23.
Looks like your enemies are
Yeah, Dingo can probably kill this with Zen unkill. Oh, it's a mistake. Oh, into the gust. Oh wow, the cat's got it. Good game. Alright, so with the game over, let's talk about the talents that Dehaka went over and what he should have went. So at level 1, he went the ability called, I think it's Dark Swarm, where he gets Spell Armor. It's a fairly okay ability. I'd say it's probably the worst of the 3 right now. It's good if they have Double Mage, but you never see Double Mage. And his talent is terrible in this team fight because the enemy team does most of their damage with Zul'Jin involved, which are auto attackers. Instead, he probably should have went with the Enhanced Agility, or in this case, more importantly, is the Tissue Regeneration, because he needs to be a big, fat, beefy tank, being a solo tank. At level 4, he went for the Hero Stalker. Once again, a bad ability unless you're a ganking team, but usually you want one who collects, almost always, universally. At level 7, Feeding Frenzy. The cooldown reduction on Ton is the ability to take now. It's really good. I like it much better than Symbiosis. At 10, being a solo tank, you want Adaptation. If you're a second tank, an off tank, and you have a prime target to put Isolation on, you can, but you almost always want Adaptation, so you can play really aggressively on the enemy's backline. At 13, giving your Swarm vulnerability is a good talent. It's usually the one you want to take. At 16, the talents, all 3 of them kind of suck, but the best 2 are Tunneling Claws and Elongated Tongue. Considering your playstyle, if you want to get a bit of a longer tongue, you can go for Elongated, but usually Burrowing Claws is better. And at 20, you could go Essence Claws or the Z ability. Usually the Z ability is better, but if you're in a very, very prolonged, drawn-out team fights where you're actually able to attack the enemy heroes a lot, then Essence Claws gets a lot of value. And so just how to play Dehaka better. Your goal is to split Soak. There's a lot of face tanking being done here by this Dehaka, and that's not how you're supposed to play him. You're supposed to split push, create lane pressure, force the enemy team to then respond to your lane pressure. If they don't, then they lose structures. And then you burrow in once the enemy team has rotated away to stop the lane pressure, then you get ganks off, thus giving you more opportunity to push more lanes, get more lane pressure. That's the whole Dehaka play. You play PvE, get lane pressure, and go in for ganks, then leave. Then once you leave, you're back to clearing lanes. Most of his playstyle is actually not team fighting. It's very good for people who are passive aggressive and don't really want to engage with it that much. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening, and we'll be covering more tanks later and how to play them each individually and what talents to build. All right, so thank you for listening, and as Tower Baron would say, we'll see you in the Nexus.